6 minutes. 6 minutes, guys. Six minutes in and we get a jump scare. 6 minutes and we get a jump scare. It figures. This movie is the boy, and to keep cliches going, Maggie, Laura Collins, we're gonna call her Maggie. Her name is Greta in the movie, but forget that. We're gonna call her Maggie. She was awesome as Maggie. She's not bad in this movie. Actually, all the actors in this was pretty fine, but I'm just gonna call Laura Cohan Maggie. So Maggie arrives to this creepy old house, and when she gets there, there's no one to meet her at the door. So of course she lets herself in. You have the typical horror movie music going on. There's panning of the camera looking at dolls. Then when she goes up to a room, we get a jump scare. That's the jump scare. That long. 6 minutes in, and we get a jump scare. That's ridiculous. So a guy that ends up scaring her is a good-looking guy, so automatically we know that there is going to be some kind of romance with the two. Keep that in the old noggin right there. That's going to happen later on. So he's some type of delivery boy, and he's in the house delivering. So the two go downstairs. Again, the two people that she's coming to work. She's a nanny coming from the United States to England. I believe it's England, to become a nanny for them to watch their child. The two is just walking around the house. The people, the man and the wife, they're not there yet. So these two douchebags go downstairs. They start talking. They're putting away food. He says his mother had a gift of reading palms. He has a gift of reading chewing gum. You heard me correctly. Chewing gum. That's what he reads. That's his gift. So she takes out her chewing. I'm not joking around here. This is if you want to, you can watch. This is in the first 9 minutes of the movie. She takes out her chewing gum. And she puts it in his hand, and he looks at it and tries to guess or actually read her past. That's in the first 10 minutes of this movie. So finally the woman of the house, the mother, she finally gets there, and she introduced Maggie to the man of the house, the father, and then they go and meet the boy. So when she finally go and meets the boy, it's a doll, which I'm happy that this movie had sense enough in the writing to have her laugh as it's a joke, but then she finds out that they're not joking, and this doll is there for this two people, and these people are older people. They're probably in their 60s or 70s, this man and wife. It's for them to cope over their son they have lost many years ago. You would think at that point something would go off in her head. She would get on a plane, fly back over the pond, and come back home to the United States. But she doesn't do that because I guess she really needs the money. So after a few times of the mother giving her instruction of how the doll or the boy has to be taken care of, and it's pretty much like taking care of a toddler. Before going to bed, the parent is talking to the doll. She waits outside. The man in the house, the father, says he's going to accept you if you would accept him, meaning as you can our son likes you, the doll likes you. You can have this job if you want. You would think again that she would get on a plane, go across the pond, and go back home, but she doesn't. So keep on going with the cliches here. The typical horror movie stuff from these days happen. There's no cell phone service. There's no Wi-Fi. There's this house is out in the middle of nowhere. It's a big creepy old house. It's the typical horror movie stuff. She's saying this on the phone talking to her sister, and then at the end of the phone conversation she brings up about her ex-boyfriend and a restraining order. So I guess that's the reason she left, because she's from Montana. She went from Montana to across the United States, across the ocean to England. I think it's England. It doesn't matter when you go from one side of the United States to another. She could just moved to crappy Rhode Island or something. Okay, whatever. She does that, and then even the sister says, "Wow, it's a doll you're really taking care of. This means you must really need the money." And this is the movie. This is not me joking here. You can go and waste the time that you have in your life to go watch this, but this is exactly what happens in this movie. So she is gonna keep the job, obviously, because if she didn't, we wouldn't have a movie. From there, what happens is, since she's gonna now be the nanny for this doll, the two old farts are now going on a getaway. They're going on a trip, which makes me say, stop. Again, who would let their child, even if your child is a doll, stay with a complete stranger, especially a stranger from a different country? So her and the delivery boy it continues to talk, and she continues to not obey. So the mother gave her a list of things she has to do. She totally just does not listen to any of those things that's on the list. Creepy things start to happen in the house, which makes her think the doll is a actual boy. So now her and delivery boy is hanging out. This stuff is still going on. So without giving away too much, this is a crappy movie right now. This is a crappy movie. She's still having phone conversations with her sister, talking about what's going on, talking about how much money she's making. At the end of that, they would talk about the ex-boyfriend again, and that he wants to apologize for something. And I guess her younger brother gave the boyfriend the address so he can send something to her. This is the movie, guys. Like I said, you can go and watch it. This is the movie. But if I stop right here, the movie totally does a 360. The movie totally does a 360. It was crap. 88% of the first 88% of the movie is completely crap. The rest, it got better. The boyfriend shows up at the house. I'm not gonna say what happens after that, but the boyfriend shows up at the house, and this movie turns from what you think is a ghost and probably a spiritual type demon possessed movie to now a slasher. Like I said, all the acting was good. Cliches in the first 60% of the movie. So at the end, the ending of this movie had me very interested. There's going to be a part 2 and part 3. Probably not a part 3, but there will be a part 2, most likely, which would not make any sense to me because of what makes the ending of this movie good is something that you couldn't benefit off it a second time around. So I gotta say that the boy I gotta give it a 58. The boy is a 58. It could be a lot worse. We're looking at the 30s here. If the last ending doesn't happen, this thing is in the 30s. And if Lauren Cohan if Maggie is not looking so good in this, we're probably in the 20s. Guys, did you like it? Did you hate it? What is your 0 through 100? I'm done here.